Here's something nobody warned me about, so I'm warning you. Around your mid-20s, your friendships go quiet. Not with a fight, not with drama, just quietly. The group chat slows down. People get jobs, partners, move suburbs, move cities, and one day you look up and realize you haven't seen your best mate in 4 months, and neither of you did anything wrong. At 21, I had a huge social circle and thought it was permanent. At 27, I could count my real friends on one hand, with fingers left over. And it shook me, honestly, because I'd spent my early 20s treating people like they were renewable, like there'd always be more friends, more time, more chances. There isn't always more. People are the one part of life where I made the most mistakes. Friendships I let die, networking I cringed away from, relationships I handled like a man defusing a bomb with oven mitts on. So this video is the people playbook. Friendships, professional networks, romantic relationships, what actually matters at 18 to 21, what I got wrong, and what I'd do differently. This is the video I needed most at your age. Let's get into it. First, the big mindset shift. After school ends, friendship stops being automatic. For your whole life so far, friends were a side effect. You got locked in a building with the same people for years. Friendship just happened, like weather. School, sport, your street, proximity did all the work. Then school ends and the conveyor belt stops. Nobody tells you this. Suddenly, friendship requires the one thing it never needed before: deliberate effort. And most people don't make the switch. They keep waiting for friendship to happen to them, like it used to, and slowly wonder why they're lonely. Here's the unglamorous truth I learned way too late. Adult friendship is mostly just texting first. That's it. That's the secret. Somebody has to be the one who says, "Oi, you free Saturday?" And most people are too proud or too awkward to be that person. Be that person. I promise you the other side is usually thinking, "Thank God, I was too lazy to organize anything." For years, I had this stupid internal scoreboard. Well, I messaged last time. Mate, who cares? It's not tennis. Nobody's keeping score except your ego, and your ego is a terrible friend. Some of my best friendships survived purely because one of us refused to let the scoreboard win. Sometimes that was me. Often it wasn't, and I'm grateful. Practical version. Pick the 4 or 5 people who actually matter and put them on a loose rotation in your head. A message every couple of weeks, a catch-up every month or two. It sounds robotic, scheduling your mates like dentist appointments, but I'd rather be a bit robotic and have friends at 30 than be spontaneous and alone. Spontaneity is for people who still see each other in class every day. You're graduating into the era of intention, and lose the dead weight gently. You'll have people in your circle at 18 who are only there out of habit, the ones who drain you, the ones whose hobby is your failure. You don't need a dramatic friendship breakup. This isn't a soap opera. You just stop watering that plant. Energy goes where it's reciprocated. Okay, networking. I know. The word alone smells like a man in a cheap suit handing you a business card with both hands. For years, I refused to network because I thought it meant being fake, schmoozing, sucking up, adding strangers on LinkedIn with messages like, "Hi, I'd love to pick your brain," which is a sentence that has never once led to anything good. Then I noticed something that quietly rewired my brain. Almost every good thing in my career came through a person. Not a job board, a person. My break into my current industry? A bloke I used to work with mentioned my name in a meeting I wasn't in. Jobs I didn't even apply for came to me because someone remembered I existed and didn't hate working with me. That's all networking is. It's not collecting contacts. It's leaving a good impression on people who'll remember you when opportunity shows up. Rooms you're not in, meetings you'll never see. Your name gets said when you're not there. Networking is just making sure that sentence ends well. So here's how you actually do it at 18 to 21, without the cringe. 1. Be excellent to the people around you right now. Your classmates, your coworkers, your manager at the part-time job. In 10 years, these people will be scattered across companies and industries everywhere, and they will remember exactly one thing: what you were like to work with. That random guy from your course could be hiring in 2034. The lazy chat you have at Smoko or in the break room is networking. You're already doing it. Do it well. 2. Ask questions instead of performing. Young people think networking means impressing older people. Wrong way round. People, especially experienced people, love being asked genuine questions about how they got where they are. You don't need to be impressive, you need to be interested. How did you get into this? Has opened more doors for me than any rehearsed pitch. 3. Follow up like a human. Met someone helpful? A short message later that says, "Good to meet you, thanks for the advice about X," puts you ahead of 95% of people, because 95% of people never follow up at all. And months later, when you can send them something useful, an article, a heads up, a "saw this and thought of you," you've stopped being a contact and started being a connection. And the golden rule that took me a decade: give before you ask. Help people when you have nothing to gain. Share the opportunity that's not right for you. Recommend the good person for the job. It's not even strategic, it's just being a decent human. But I'll tell you, it comes back around in ways you cannot predict and will never see coming. Right. Romantic relationships. The section where I expose myself for your benefit. Between 18 and 25, I made basically every mistake available. I dated people because I was lonely, not because we fit. I stayed in a dead relationship 2 years too long because leaving felt like admitting failure. I ignored red flags so big they could be seen from space, flags I personally laminated. And in my early 20s, I'll be honest, I was nobody's prize either. Insecure, broke, and emotionally about as available as a closed servo at 3 a.m. So here's what I know now that I wish I knew then. 1. Who you date is a life decision disguised as a feeling. At 18, it feels like romance is its own separate category. Over here is your life, your goals, your money, your peace, and over there is dating. No. The person you're with shapes all of it. Your partner affects your ambition, your habits, your finances, your mental health, your other friendships. The right person is a tailwind. You'll be shocked how far you go. The wrong person is a part-time job that pays in stress. Choose like it matters, because nothing matters more. 2. The green flags are boring. Young me looked for spark, chaos, intensity. If it felt like a roller coaster, it was love. Mate, roller coasters are fun for 3 minutes and then someone throws up. The actual green flags are devastatingly unsexy. They do what they say they'll do. You don't feel anxious waiting for their reply. You can disagree without it becoming a war. You like who you are around them. Your life works better with them in it, not worse. That's it. That's the list. Drama is not depth. Calm is not boring. Took me most of a decade to learn that, and it cost me years. 3. Don't lose yourself, and don't date someone who wants you to. The classic early 20s move. Get into a relationship, vanish off the face of the earth, abandon your mates, your gym, your hobbies, your mission. Then the relationship ends, and you're standing in the wreckage of a life you stopped maintaining, ringing friends you ghosted for a year. Keep your friendships alive. Keep building your thing. A good partner wants you to have a life. The right person joins your mission. They don't replace it. 4. Breakups are tuition. You will probably get your heart broken in the next few years. It will feel like the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. It is the price of the world. Every relationship that ends teaches you what you need, what you won't tolerate, and who you are under pressure. Feel it fully. Learn the lesson. Don't text them at 2 a.m. Put the phone in another room. I'm serious. That message has never once aged well in human history. And come back wiser. And 5. For the single people feeling behind because everyone's coupled up, being single at 18 to 21 is not a problem to solve. It's the best skill-building window you'll ever get. The strongest move in dating, ironically, is becoming someone with a full life, because people are drawn to people who are going somewhere. Build the life first. The right passengers show up when the train is actually moving. Now, a practical one, because I've told you friendship stops being automatic, so where do new friends actually come from after school? Because just put yourself out there is advice on the same level as just be confident. Thanks. Cured. Here's what actually works, and there's basically one mechanism behind all of it: repetition plus shared activity. Friendship doesn't form from one good conversation. It forms from seeing the same faces regularly while doing something together. That's why school produced friends effortlessly. Repetition was built in. So as an adult, you don't look for friends, you look for structures that contain repetition, and friendship grows in them like grass. That means a sports team, even a terrible social one, especially a terrible social one, losing together bonds people faster than winning. A gym you go to at the same time each week, where the regulars start nodding at you, then chatting. A class, a club, a volunteering gig, a gaming group that actually gets on voice chat. Pick one or two, attend consistently for a few months, and let the repetition do the heavy lifting. The mistake people make is going twice, making no best friends, and quitting. You're not planting a friendship, you're planting a garden, and gardens take a season. Second thing, escalate gently. At some point, someone from the activity has to become someone outside the activity, and somebody has to make that slightly awkward move. A few of us are grabbing food after. You in? That sentence is the entire technology of adult friendship. It feels risky for about 4 seconds. The answer is almost always yes because, and this is the part nobody believes, almost everyone your age is quietly hoping to be invited to things. The loneliness numbers in your generation are brutal. You're not imposing, you're rescuing. And while we're on people you didn't choose, family. Quick word because nobody gave me one. Your parents are aging in real time, and at 18 to 21, it's invisible to you. I was too busy and too cool to call home through most of my early 20s. Then, one ordinary day, my dad got sick. He's fine now. He's currently in a feud with his neighbor about a fence and thriving. But sitting in that hospital corridor, I did the maths nobody wants to do. If you see your parents a few times a year, and they've got, say, 30 years left, you can count the remaining visits on your hands. That number rearranged my priorities permanently. You don't owe anyone a relationship that hurts you. Some families are genuinely toxic, and distance can be the healthy choice. But if your family is just imperfect, ordinary, annoying, asks you to fix the printer imperfect, call them. 20 minutes every week or two. It costs you nothing now. It will be priceless to you later, and you will never once regret it. I've never met a 31-year-old who said, "I wish I'd called my mom less." Last section, and it ties everything together. There's a saying you've probably heard, that you become like the people you spend the most time with. I used to think that was motivational poster fluff. It is not fluff. It is physics. Your standards are contagious. Spend time with people who train, and going to the gym feels normal. Spend time with people who are building things, and ambition feels normal. Spend time with people whose entire personality is complaining, gossiping, and pulling down anyone who tries, and slowly, without noticing, that becomes normal. You don't even feel it happening. Standards leak between people like Wi-Fi. I watched this play out in real time in my own life. The years I was around go-nowhere people, I went nowhere, and we all reassured each other that nowhere was fine, that trying was cringe, that anyone doing better was just lucky. The years I got around people who were building, suddenly I was reading more, training more, aiming higher, almost against my will. Same me, different room, completely different output. So here's the audit. Once or twice a year, ask yourself about the 5 or 6 people you spend the most time with. After I hang out with this person, do I feel better or drained? Do they celebrate my wins, or do my wins make things weird? Are they going somewhere? Not rich, not successful, just moving. Or have they been having the same conversation since school? And the big one, if I described my goals to them, would they help or would they laugh? You don't need to cut people off coldly. Some people are friends for a season, and that's okay. You can love people from a slight distance. But your inner circle, the handful with daily access to your mind, curate it like your future depends on it, because it genuinely does. And the flip side, be the friend you're auditing for. Celebrate your mate's wins loudly. Check on the quiet ones. The strong friend is usually the one nobody checks on. Show up to the things. Keep their secrets. Hype them in rooms they're not in. Do that for a decade and you won't need to network or search for good people. You'll be surrounded. All right, bringing it home. Friendship stops being automatic after school. Text first, drop the scoreboard, and water the plants you want to keep. Networking is just being memorable for the right reasons to people who will say your name in rooms you're not in. Give before you ask. In relationships, choose calm over chaos. Keep your own life, and treat heartbreak as tuition. New friends come from repetition plus shared activity, so join the structure and make the slightly awkward invite. Call your parents. And audit your circle because you become your room. Then be the kind of person who makes everyone else's audit easy. I'll leave you with this. At 31, when I look back, the jobs blur together and the money came and went. But every genuinely good chapter of my life had the same thing in common: the right people in it. Careers compound, money compounds, but so do relationships, and they pay the best interest of anything I know. That's the trilogy done: career and money, habits and health, and people. If you've watched all three, you've got a better operating manual at 19 than I had at 27, which is mildly annoying for me and great for you. Subscribe if you want more. Drop a comment with what you're struggling with, and I'll build future videos around it. Go text that friend. You know the one. See you in the next video.